Salve, y'all. Welcome to my infinite windows of review. This is a review of the Sacri Pulli grammar scavenger hunt practice that you guys got right before our Sacri Pulli test. This is the same, just to get you familiarized with the format of the grammar portion of this upcoming exam. It's pretty simple and straightforward, but I just wanted to walk through it with you in case you were a little off, because most of what we've done has been more focused on, like, can you establish meaning and reading comprehension and stuff like that. The grammar stuff is kind of taking a back seat, but we still need to know it. And this is going to be kind of a refresher. So one thing I would say that'd be very helpful. Here's the layout. You'll be given a passage, same passage from the contextual vocabulary practice you did last week. And underneath, you'll see a list of words or phrases from the passage, and you basically just have to sort them based off whether they're nominative, dative, accusative, or a prepositional phrase. To help y'all out, just to show you a good spot, if you're wondering, oh God, how do I sort these out? Remember, you can tell the case of a noun or a pronoun based off of its ending or its form and how it's being used in a sentence. One thing that'll help you with this is if you go back to its learning, go into the resources, and there's a couple places you can go, but probably the most helpful would be to go to Unit 0, Introduction, and open up that master presentation from the very beginning of the year where we did our noun and verb review. You open that up, it'll give you this. And first couple weeks. First week was basically reviewing nouns, and the second one was reviewing verbs. So the information you'll find in here. Here are all the different declensions. I even have a link on slide 11 here to the full declension chart as a PDF, which will help you out. You'll see on the declension chart. Oh, I'm not a robot. You'll see on the declension chart an example of a word formed in that way with the red indicating the first declension, second declension endings. And then within them, you'll see nominative, genitive, dative, accusative, ablative. All right. And then singular and plural. So, and then also for the verbs, we scroll down a little further. This is all our practice with that. You'll see around slide 32 and 33 what you'll need for your verbs. Very simple. Everything's still present tense. So 32 or 33 will give you a good sense of what you're doing here. OST, mustis unt for I, you, he, she, it, we, all, they, first, second, third person, singular, and plural, and you'll be given the infinitive form up here, typically ending with an RE. So with all those resources in mind, let's look back at the scavenger hunt here. This up here is a reference if you want to look at a sentence in order to get it, but most of these can just be answered kind of by looking at them. First one, kind of difficult. We have nos, which is a pronoun, doesn't necessarily follow those patterns. It's in the first line. Hodie nos bellum contra Carthaginensis in Sicilia gerimus. Well, in this sentence, nos means we know nos is being used as the subject here, so we know it's going to be nominative. And as we go down, I'll just kind of go through them with you. Bellum, it's second declension neuter, so it could be nominative or accusative. If you look at it in the sentence, it's that first sentence right there. Today, we are waging war against the Carthaginians in Sicily. So we know it could be nominative or accusative. Nominative meaning it's doing the action. Accusative meaning it's receiving the action, which here is to wage. Well, the war is not waging itself. We are the ones waging, and we are waging the war. So it's receiving the action. So I'll make it accusative. Over here, you'll see contra Carthaginensis. That's a prepositional phrase against the Carthaginians. Got the preposition with the word there. Carthago, which is the nominative version of Carthage. Consul, which is the nominative version of consul. Magnas naves. You'll see here, magnas naves. That means big ships or great ships. If you look at your third declension chart, which I'll go back to over here, you'll see es can be nominative or accusative again. Well, that's confusing. Well, I've included magnas with it because the adjective describing it needs to match it in case, number, and gender. So you'll see over here, magnas that's actually an accusative ending. So that tells us that nawes is also accusative. So this will be accusative. Consuli, well, consulis is third declension. And you'll see here, if you look at your reference sheet, that third declension, consulis, consuli, that's dative. Also, by looking at the passage here, I can't remember where, here it is. Because I want to report the omens to the consul, 2 or 4, that's dative. Then that tells us that this will be dative. So the ending, not just the ending, but also just its thing, its meaning and context. Claudio, it's the dative singular ending of Claudius, Claudii, which is second declension. O is the dative for that. Polos, that's second declension accusative ending. Polario, similar to Claudio, that's going to be dative. Ego, that means I, that's a subject, that's nominative. Kibum, that's accusative. In Sicilia, that is a prepositional phrase. For in Sicily, aharam, which is a prepositional phrase meaning to the chicken coop. And lastly, aquam, which is accusative. So your answer sheet will look roughly like that. Then we go down here to the sort the following verbs from the passage based off their grammatical structure. Your 3 options here are first person singular or plural, meaning the subject can be I or we. Third person singular or plural, subject can be he, she, or it, or they, or a singular or plural noun. And then lastly, infinitive, meaning no subject, is typically translated as to blank. This one's a little simpler. If you look back, if you need your reference, go back to slide 32 in that master presentation. You'll see all your endings are here. O, S, T, mus, tis, unt. We're looking for first person singular and plural. So endings O and mus will be first person. Third person singular plural, amat and amant, t and nt. Those are third person singular plural. And the infinitive form, those will be ones typically ending with re for to blank. So let's see what we can figure out. We got habemus and gerimus. Well, both of these have the same ending. They're going to be the same. If you remember from the last thing, mus means we. So those two will be first person. Gerere, which ends with an re, meaning it's infinitive. Specto, that's first person singular. So is that audio. Referre is infinitive. Okay. Refero, well, man, are there going to be any third person singular plural ones? Yes. Audit and plaquette both end with T. That makes them third person singular. And Porto is your first person singular as well. So it should end up looking something like this. Submit. Oh, I don't have a name. No, I do. I got a last name now too. And I got a number. Let's make sure that's right. Woohoo! Response has been recorded. View score 24 out of 25. Oh, it did not like something. Polos. Oh, because I put polos as a prepositional phrase. Should have been accusative. That was my bad. Clicking it wrong. Everything else should be fine. It is. And there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. If you need anything, please reach out. Walete.